All right, so once we've got our squishing device, cushion or bottle or yoga block or a Pilates small ball, if you're that way inclined, we're going to get cracking down on the mat. I'm going to mute you all. Please feel free, if something doesn't make sense, to unmute yourself and to ask the question. Because getting results in Pilates is all about understanding the muscles that you're working. Okay, so we're going to have this to the side to begin with, and we're going to start lying on our back with our knees bent and our feet parallel. We want to set up our train tracks. So the second or third toes, the kneecaps and the hip bones track in 2 straight lines. Really rest your shoulders down heavy on the ground, tuck the chin in, lengthening the back of the neck. Now, if this is hard for you to keep your chin from this position, so this is a poke, this is a tuck. If you find it more comfortable to poke than tuck, you'll probably need to roll up the edge of your mat 2 or 3 times to keep that chin tucked in. We're now going to practice, we should be in our neutral spine, so just check that we're not super arched under the back, nice natural curve. Both thumbs in the belly button, first 2 fingers of both hands on the pubic bone. This diamond is going to help us set neutral pelvis. So we're going to tuck in the chin, curl up over the ribs, and look at that diamond on the hips. If your fingers are higher than your thumb, you're too tucked. So you're going to need to tip the pelvis away. If your thumb is higher than your fingers, then you're too tilted, and you're going to need to draw gently back until we find neutral. I've lost my rolled up mat. I'll fix that back up. And rest back down on the ground. So now that we're in neutral pelvis and neutral spine, the basis for all of our movement is our connection to what we call the T-zone. And to activate our T-zone, which we do on an exhale when we're practicing, we lift the pelvic floor up, and it's like squeezing a tampon in or cutting off your pee midstream. So you want to think about that lifting inwards and up. It's a rising energy. At the same time as we do that, we squeeze out transverse abdominal belt. So that's the horizontal line of the T-zone. And we do that by thinking about dishing the space between the hip bones across and down. So it really knits in and down. So that's the T-zone. There's something else that Pilates is famous for, and that's the dished out belly shape. And the way that we get that is by thinking of the fronts of the ribs on the outside, contracting down towards the hips. So on the inside, at the root of everything, pelvic floor is rising. Above that, transverse abdominals are knitting. And then we feel the rib cage descending towards the hips. We're going to inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth for the entirety of the class. While we practice that, we're also going to practice using the breath out to switch on our T-zone. So inhale to prepare. And as you exhale, pelvic floor rises, hips dish inwards and down, and the ribs connect down towards the hips. Hold that for a breath in. And slowly release it as you breathe out. Again, inhale to prepare. That breath goes to the backs and sides of the rib cage. And as you exhale, hollowing the belly, pelvic floor is rising, hip bones are dishing across and knitting down. Hold that for an inhale. And slowly release it as you exhale. All right, we're going to check if we're doing a good job. So take the first 2 fingers of both hands onto your hip crests. We're going to curl the fingers around and dig them firmly down. Now, inhale to prepare. And as you exhale, activating your T-zone, you should feel the muscles resisting against your fingers if you're doing a good job. If you can't feel that, you might need to squeeze a bit tighter or dig more deeply. Hold that for a breath in and release with your breath out. We're going to do that one last time, but I want you to think about slow, smooth, fluid contraction. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, slowly and gradually contracting. Feeling that resistance rise into the fingers. Hold for a breath in. And slowly relax as you breathe out. Fantastic. Release your hands down by the sides now. We're going to do what's called iliacus activation. So rather than relying on our hip flexors to lift our legs, we want to use a different muscle. Imagine now that your feet are Velcroed to your mat or the floor. So with that T-zone tightener inhale, try and lift your right foot off that Velcro as you exhale, but it's not going anywhere, but you're trying to lift that Velcroed foot. Can you feel the muscles on the inside of the groin, on the upwards rise towards the hip, switching on to pull the thigh down into the hip socket? Relax that on the right leg. Let's try that on the other side. Inhale the T-zone tight, and as you exhale, you're trying to lift that left leg away, but you feel the muscle on the inside switch on much more than the hip flexor, yeah? On the inside of the groin. Hold that and then relax it. So we're going to use that as the start of the movement as we work with lift a foot. T-zone tight, we inhale, feel that Velcro grip as we lift the right leg and exhale. Take it down to the ground on the breath in, and then the left leg comes up, first away from the Velcro, nice and slow on the breath out. So we inhale to place the foot on the ground and exhale to lift it up. Inhale to replace it, exhale to lift it. Now it looks really simple, like we're just lifting one foot at a time, right? But we're practicing keeping our belly dish down, our T-zone switched on at about a 4 or a 5 out of 10, neutral spine, and moving with control. So there's no rocking or rolling as we lift one foot then the other. Once we finish on the left, we're going to make this a little more complicated. We're going to work on what's called lift and extend. We're going to inhale the T-zone tight and lift the right leg. We're going to exhale, extend it out long and straight. Inhale to bring it back to what's called tabletop position, and exhale, pop it back down on the ground. Switching sides. Left leg lifts on the inhale, rib to hip connection, extending on the exhale. T-zone brings it back on the breath in, and then we carefully place it down as we breathe out. Right leg up, inhale. Extend the leg, exhale. Bring it back, breathe in, place it down, breathe out. Left leg rising, breath in, extend on the exhale, lift on the inhale, replace on the exhale. Now you're going to do 2 more on each side. Keep going. I'm just going to come and check on you that your hips are nice and still and that the belly's dishing in. Nice. Beautiful. And once you finish the next one on your left leg, you're done with that exercise. Great. Okay, so now we've done our lift of foot and our lift and extend. We're going to come back up to the other end of the body. We're going to work on how we keep our shoulders on the ground, as well as our ribs knitting down towards our hips at the same time as we move our arms. This exercise is called arm prep. Bring the fingertips to face your ceiling. Draw the shoulder blades down into the ground. T-zone tightens to 4 or 5 out of 10 as we inhale, and we extend the arms back till the thumbs touch the ground as we exhale. Bring them slowly back up to where they started, breathing in, and extend them down and away again, breathing out. Rising on the inhale, lowering behind your head as you exhale. Now, what was the focus? It wasn't just keeping the shoulders in position. It's keeping the ribs knitting down to the hips. So keep going, thinking about the T-zone tight, the entire body still, and the corset around the ribs never releases. Exhaling away, inhaling to lift. Give me 2 more of those. Really nice. All right, once you inhale those hands back up, we're going to take the fingertips to the base of the skull for our rectus abdominals crunches. So we're starting our abdominal curl series. It's really important that we keep the pelvis still and we don't allow the tailbone to tuck towards us, and we protect this little gap under the small of the back. T-zone tightens as we breathe in, rib to hip connection curling up as you exhale. Control back to the floor as you breathe in, and curl up, eyes are on the thighs as you breathe out. Inhale, control it down, send those elbows out wide, don't let them creep in towards your nose. Inhale it down, keeping that tucked chin and long back of neck. If you want to make this a little harder, you can exhale, extend the arms towards the feet, and inhale, return them to the base of the skull. Exhale, extend. Inhale, return. And if your neck is feeling really happy with that, go ahead and keep your arms extended, horizontal to the ground. Inhale to roll back down. Exhale, rib to hip curling up. So we roll down on the inhale, Curl up on the exhale. You've got 2 more of these. Whichever level feels best for your neck is the one to work with today, trying to get all the way to the very tips of your shoulder blades. Last one, bring the hands back to the base of the skull. We're going to come up into our tabletop position now. So inhale, the T-zone tight, the right leg will lift. Exhale, I want you to pull the tailbone down through the mat as the left leg comes and meets the right. The ankles and the knees are squeezing together. The bottom is pushing down through the floor. Knees are right on top of the hips and the heels are in line with the knees. This gap under your back needs to shrink. And the way we're going to do that is by reaching the front ribs down to the hips more strongly. Let's go back to this exercise with our T-zone connecting at a 6 out of 10 on the inhale. And we curl ribs to hips, eyes on thighs as we exhale. Control it back to the ground as you breathe in and take it up again as you breathe out. Inhale it down, exhale it up. Now we're going to inhale it down, take your feet back to the ground, and we're going to try that one more time, but this time using our squeeze prop. So whatever it is that is your squeeze prop, we're going to inhale the T-zone tight, the right leg will lift, place the ball at the inside of the thigh, just below the knee, exhale the left leg up and squeeze those knees together. You're going to feel your iliacus and your adductors activate more firmly. Cool, so rib to hip connection, hands at the base of the skull. T-zone tight to 6 out of 10, we inhale, curling up, eyes on thighs, we exhale. Control back down on the breath in and curl up as you breathe out. Now make sure that your ankles are in line with your kneecaps. They're not trying to turn in towards each other or out away from each other. We've got to keep our parallel lines. If you want to make this more challenging, extend through the arms as you exhale. Replace the hands at the base of the skull as you inhale. Try one more like that. And if you want to keep the arms extended for the last 3, turning this into the full abdominal curl, please be welcome to do so. Last one here. Taking the head back down to the ground, remove the ball from between the legs, keep them parallel as the right and the left foot come back down to the ground. Just placing your prop somewhere where it's handy and it won't run away. We're now going to come into our oblique curl. So we'll take the rib, the right rib to begin with, over to the left hip. The elbows have to stay wide for this exercise. So T-zone tight, 4 out of 10 as you inhale, right rib to left hip, and the head follows the movement as you exhale. Come back down as you breathe in, and we'll switch sides as we breathe out. Good, coming back down as you inhale, really push the tailbone through the floor. Keep the rib to hip connection and you'll feel one side of the rib cage really reaching over to the opposite hip. Exhaling over, inhaling down. To make this one a little bit more interesting, you can extend your arm over to the opposite thigh. Just be really conscious that you keep the shoulder down. Exhale it across, inhale it back. Exhale it over, inhale it back. Last one on the left here. Good, bring it down to the ground. Now we're going to have that prop handy. We're going to inhale the T-zone tight, left leg comes up to tabletop. Ball comes down just below the knee. Right, exhale the right leg up, squeeze into the ball, rib to hip connection. So we're pushing that gap towards the ground now by dishing the rib cage down. And we're going to bring the fingertips to the base of the skull. T-zone tight to 6 out of 10, we inhale, right rib to left hip as we exhale. Control back down as you breathe in, switch sides as you breathe out. Now keep going, but you have to keep everything still below the belly button. It's just one rib moving towards the opposite hip. Good, you can extend the arm across as you exhale, bring the hand to the base of the skull as you inhale. Reaching over on the exhale, coming back on the inhale. 4 to go. Keep going, let me just check on you. Such perfect still legs, Miss Rachel. Really good. Perfect, Sharon. Nice, Anita. Great, Sarah. Last one with the left arm reaching to the right. And you are done. You can take the prop away now. Hug the knees, give them a squeeze. Going for 3 circles in one direction and 3 circles in the other direction. All right, let's get into our single toe taps before we come into our single leg stretch. So we're coming up to our tabletop position, no prop required. Collarbones are wide and the shoulders press down into the ground. Rib to hip connection, T-zone tight to 6 out of 10 on our inhale. Right tip toe reaches down for the ground as we exhale. We slowly bring it back as we breathe in, and we're trying to really keep the belly flat as that toe comes down on the exhale. So it's a slow movement, slow lower and slower return. Try and remember what it felt like to use your iliacus more than your hip flexors. So to use the insides of the groin and the inner thigh rather than just to use the muscles at the top of the hip. Good. Now to make this exercise easier, if you feel your low back moving or your belly popping up, tap the toe in closer to your bottom. And if you want to make this one more challenging, you can extend a little further through the front of the hip so the toe taps further away. Just make sure you're coming back to exactly tabletop position every time, okay? Good, that's looking great, guys. Once you've done one more on the left, bring it back up to tabletop. We're going to inhale the T-zone tight, exhale, curl up, grab the right knee with both hands, draw it towards your nose, inhale, and then exhale that left leg up long and straight. Good. Inhale to switch. Exhale, squeezing the left knee towards the nose. Inhale to switch. Exhale, squeezing the right knee towards the nose. I need you to curl up here, guys. Ribs to hips, crown of the head towards the ceiling. Sitting up as tall as you can with the shoulders rolling back and down as you exhale through the mouth. Inhale through the nose. Rib to hip connection. Good. Now, that straight leg can come down lower to the floor for more of a challenge. Keep going. Or point it up towards the ceiling to make the exercise easier. Work to your level. Remember, to get results though, we do need to stay on that challenge and control boundary. You got 4 to go, finishing on the left side. You look really great. Try and curl up all the way to the tips of your shoulder blades, sitting up as tall as you can, dishing the ribs down to the hips. Is this one your left leg? If it is, you're done. If it's not, you've got one more. Then you can take the knees wide and rock the spine from side to side. Have a little rock and roll on the mat. Excellent work. All right, we're going to use our prop again. So if you're using a cushion, you're going to fold it in half. If you're using a ball, it's going to come right underneath. Oh, the cushion will go here too. It's going to sit right underneath the heads of the shoulder blades to help you sit up. So it's going to bring us into our abdominal curl now. So once we've got our prop behind our shoulders and we're sitting up nice and tall, so you fold your cushion in half if it's a cushion. If it's a yoga block, you'd use it on its side. So lengthways on its side behind your shoulders. I'll just demonstrate that for you because I can see 2 of you working with yoga blocks. So this one here, I put it under my back lengthways like this. Cool. And it works just as well. A little bit less comfy. All right, so we've got the rib to hip connection here. We're going to bring the fingertips to the base of the skull and keep the elbows out wide. Now, if you feel like you're rocking and rolling and you need more support, you can always bring your hands down onto the ground. Right leg up on the inhale, connect the ribs to hips. Left leg up on the exhale. Good. Now, T-zone, 6 out of 10. Breathe in. Extend the right leg as you breathe out. Bring it back on your inhale. Extend the left leg as you exhale. Back on the breath in. Out on the breath out. Keep those elbows and collarbones open. This is our bicycle leg exercise. So extending one leg and the other, except we're really increasing the stability challenge by using the prop underneath us. While we're increasing the challenge of the stability, however, we are a lot more long and lifted through the upper torso, through the spine and the neck. Good. Exhale to extend, inhale to return. You've only got 6 more of these. I know it's challenging to really reach that leg out long and straight. Don't worry about how low it goes, but I do want you to imagine that that leg becomes as straight as an arrow, that the hip and the toe pull away from each other. You got 2 more. 2. Finishing on the left side. So you might need to give me an extra. And then you're done. You can take a rest and remove the prop. Good stuff. Now, before we come into our Pilates 100s preparation, I'm going to give you a hamstring stretch today so that we have a little bit more chance of extending the knee fully. So we're going to come down onto the back, draw the right knee in towards the chest, really pushing both hips down through the ground. Hands come to the back of the thigh, shoulders press down through the floor, and we're just going to slowly extend the leg. and then bend the knee. So that was with a pointed toe. We're now going to flex the foot, pull the thigh to the chest, keep it as low to the belly as you can as the heel starts to extend up towards the ceiling. And what we're looking for is the shake of the leg. So this is a nerve release. So we want to find the point with the heel really energized where the leg starts to shake. Then we're going to back it off and pulse into that 5, 4, find that shake every time. 3, 2, 1. Good stuff. Take the hands away. Extend that leg fully. So you're going to squeeze the front of the thigh and really feel the back of the knee yawn open. And then we're going to reach long through the ankle to point the toe. So we're going pointing toe here. Good. All right. So this is our long, straight leg. We want to try and find this a lot in Pilates. Really pull that thigh down into the ground. See where your hands can reach the leg with your shoulders still on the floor. So shoulders and head stay down. Reach wherever you can. Take a breath in. T-zone tight. Pull the leg towards you as you breathe out. Stay here. All right. Take an inhale. See if your hands can walk up any higher and we can pull the leg a little closer as we exhale. Is your tailbone still on the floor? Please press your tailbone down onto the ground. Good. Now what we're going to do is inhale the T-zone tight, hold our breath and push the leg through the arms as hard as we can for 4 seconds. So inhale T-zone tight and hold. Push the leg through the arms for 4, 3, 2, 1, relax. Take an inhale. Draw the leg a little closer as you exhale. And we're just here for 10 seconds. Keep pushing your tailbone down through the ground as your leg's still perfectly straight, squeezing the front of the thigh, back of the knee yawning open for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend that knee, bring it down to the ground. You might want to give your legs a little shimmy shake, which is fine. Have a wiggle. Left thigh is going to come up onto your chest, keeping the toe pointed to begin. You're going to bring the hands to the back of the thigh and just see if you can extend that leg. Don't worry about locking it out. This is just our warm up. Good. Back it off. Now we're going to really keep that thigh right against the belly as we flex the foot. Tailbone presses through the floor. So the tailbone is pressing down while the heel is reaching up. And you should find a point where your leg just goes and starts to tremble wildly. So that's what we're looking for, trembling wildly. And once you find it, back it off just a little and then push back into it again. 5, back it off, tremble. 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep it there. Take the hands away. Extend the knee first. So we squeeze the front of the thigh so the back of the leg yawns open, then through the ankle to the ball of the foot, and finally the toe. Perfectly pointed feet. Taking the hands wherever you can onto the back of the thigh, wherever you can reach. It could be all the way down here. That's totally fine. We're just going to take a breath in, squeeze the T-zone tight, and very gently draw that leg in towards us as we breathe out. Stay here for a couple of breaths. Let this become natural and normal and comfortable. And then inhale the T-zone tight. Maybe walk the hands up a little higher. And exhale, draw it down. And if you remember the next exercise, we're going to inhale, hold the breath while we push for 4 counts. And then exhale, relax. Let's go. T-zone tight, we inhale. Pressing the leg through the arms for 4, 3, 2, 1, exhale, relax. And then one last time, we inhale the T-zone tight and exhale, draw the leg towards us, really squeezing that leg long and straight, pointing that toe. Here for 5 more seconds, relaxing the shoulders down, chin tucked in. 3, 2, 1, bend the knee, bring the foot to the ground, give it a little shake. All right, Pilates 100's preparation. Today for this exercise, we're going to use the ball. We're going to place it between the thighs. No, I'm going to give you the harder version. We're going to get our prop and we're going to place it between our ankles. Sorry, not sorry. But what this is to help you with is not dropping your feet down to your bum. So the reason we're going to squeeze with the ankles, keeping the legs parallel, is so that you see when the ball hits vertical and then making sure the shin is horizontal. It's going to improve your proprioception. What you have to be really conscious of is that the knees don't knock in or flare to the sides. We've got to keep our parallel here. Bringing the arms up to arm prep. Dish the ribs to the hips, draw the shoulders back and down. T-zone tight, we inhale. Rib to hip, curl up, sweep the hands to the hips as you exhale. And then just slice back to the start position. Head down, fingertips to the ceiling on the in-breath. Curl it up and sweep the arms, big semicircle on the out-breath. Lowering down on the inhale, curling up, arms sweep around on the exhale. Now, lowering down on the inhale, as you curl up, extend the toes to the ceiling on the exhale. And as you come back to the start position with the head, come back to horizontal with the shin. Exhale, curl up and sweep. Inhale, roll down, the knees carefully bend. Curling up on the exhale, coming back to tabletop on the inhale. Keep going. I'm going to come and check if this is helping you find your tabletop positions in between each round. Nice. Rach, push your knees a little further over your hips. They're coming a little close to your tummy. No, the other way. Yes, right about there. Good. Extending on the exhale. We've got two Rachels. I'll say Rach S and Rach C. Rach C is doing a brilliant job. Sharon's nailing it. Feet are giving her perfect control. Just be careful you don't drop your legs too low, Anita. And Sarah, you're doing an amazing job. Just try and keep your knees right on top of your hips when you extend your legs. Last two, guys. Beautiful. Last one. Exhale, curl up. Inhale down, take the prop away. Squeeze the knees, roll 3 circles in one direction and 3 circles in the other direction. Right, so next up today, we're going to be working with our Pilates 100s. And for this exercise, we're going to inhale for 5 pulses of the arms beside the hips and exhale for 5 pulses of the arms beside the hips. You've got 3 different positions to choose with your legs. If you find, I'm going to cue that while I'm teaching it. If you find the position that you're already in is really challenging, don't go higher. Or if you do try on a higher level and you're finding it too challenging, just come back to the previous level. But I do ask that for the 100s, you do not put your feet down on the ground. We're going to use our prop today under our back to keep us lifted, and it's going to really take the strain out of our neck. So that's what we're really looking for. This will make your core work heaps harder, but at the same time, the position that we're placing it in underneath the shoulders, underneath the shoulder blades, should make it so much easier for you to keep the chin towards the chest. Should not feel the head dropping back at all. So pop it right under the points of the shoulder blades. Chin is tucked in. We'll start with the hands at the base of the skull. As we inhale the T-zone tight, the right leg comes up. We exhale, ribs into hips, pelvis through the ground, left leg follows. Now I'm going to reach long through the fingertips. Wrap the shoulders down and back. Inhale the T-zone tight. Now exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Glue the knees and ankles together now as you keep inhaling for 5 pulses and exhaling for 5 pulses. If you're feeling you'd like more of a challenge, extend those toes directly up to the ceiling, pulling the hips down through the floor. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, in the event that you do notice that your neck is straining, feel free to take one hand to the base of the skull and keep pulsing with the other hand. Keep lifting that pelvic floor, dishing the hip bones across and down, and scooping the ribs towards the hips as you inhale and exhale for 5 pulses. Now, if this is still not enough of a challenge for you, we can flex the feet, turn the toes out to the side with the heels connected, and lower those heels down. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're here for another 10 seconds. So just keep breathing, squeezing, and pulsing wherever you can maintain your shape for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And remove the prop. Roll down through the spine. And we're going to take a twist this time. So arms are out wide like a letter T. Bring the knees across to one elbow. You can move the feet away as far as you need to let that be soft and easy. And then come back up to the center. Take the knees across to the other side. I've got a wall in the way. I'll shuffle my bum around. There we go. Ooh, still hit the wall. All right. Great. Coming back to the center. We're going to start working on our glutes now. So just extend the legs out long and straight. Give them a little shake. Tailbone is gently tucking under, not over tucking. We've still got a nice arch underneath our back, but we're not overly exacerbating it. T-zone tightens on the in-breath here. So inhale T-zone. As we exhale, squeeze your butt so much that your hamstrings, the backs of your thighs, rise off the floor. Now hold that for a breath in and slowly release it as you breathe out. Great. Again, T-zone tight on the inhale. Glutes really contracting strong as you exhale. Hold that for a breath in and release it as you breathe out. One last time. T-zone tightens, inhale. Buns of steel, exhale. Hold it for a breath in and release it as you breathe out. All right, let's step the feet in close to the hips now. We're going to take our prop and take it high between the inner thighs. If you're using a block, you'll squeeze it. The whole length of the block will go between the inner thighs. Cool. If you're using a cushion, easy job squeezing that cushion between the thighs. We've got to be able to keep the legs parallel. You want your heels, your fingertips to be able to brush your heels. Shoulders are back and down into the ground. T-zone tight, we inhale. Tuck your tailbone under and one vertebrae at a time, peel up into your glute bridge as you exhale. Make sure your ribs are staying really knitted inwards and down to the hips. Tailbone tucks, take a breath in at the top, and then one vertebrae at a time from the ribs through the waist, down to the pelvis, we imprint into the ground. At the bottom of this, feel free to inhale and arch, let go. And then exhale, peel away, T-zone is on, all the way to the top of our bridge. Keep squeezing into that ball. We're working our adductors at the same time. Scoop under at the top, T-zone tight, inhale, and then one vertebrae at a time coming back down as we exhale. Roll through, exhale, tuck and peel. Now, if you'd like to make this exercise more challenging, bring your arms up onto the, so your fingertips point to the ceiling and really drive the shoulders down through the floor. Make sure you're not skipping any vertebrae as you come down to the ground. Good, you've got 2 more rounds and we're going to meet at the top. Whoop. All right, now once we're at the top here, if your arms are up, we're going to bring the elbows down, pushing the whole upper arm into the ground. If your arms are flat on the floor, totally fine. Pushing into the left foot as we inhale, keep your hips still, extend the right leg, follow the line of the shoulder and the hip to the toe on the exhale. Inhale the right foot down into the ground and exhale the left leg out. Good, inhale it down. Exhale the right. Keep that tailbone tucked, keep the ribs contained. No arching the back, no flaring the ribs. Exhale to extend. Inhale to replace. Keep going. Let me come and look at you. I want you to keep both hips the same height in space. Good. Bum higher, Miss Rachel S. Yep. Rib to hip connection. Bum higher, both Rachels actually. Sharon, you got to get that bum way up off the ground. Come on. Scoop, scoop, and lift. You got it, guys. Leg extends on the exhale. Pop it down on the inhale. Now you just have 1 more on each side, finishing on the left. Good. And then you're going to inhale the foot down and exhale 1 vertebrae at a time back down to the ground. So tuck the tailbone under, pull the ribs in, and roll back down to the floor. Great. Everyone is now going to push their hands down through the ground. We're not done yet. Calf muscles. Okay. So still holding this between the thighs. T-zone tight, we inhale, peeling up vertebrae by vertebrae as we exhale. as we inhale at the top, we're going to push onto the ball of the right foot. And as we exhale, the bum stays up as the heel comes back down. Inhale onto the ball of the left foot and exhale, push the foot through the ground. Right heel up, breathe in. Push the heel down, breathe out. Left heel up, inhale. Press the feet down as you exhale. Now, little thing changes here. When we do both heels, we switch the breathing. You might find that you need to move your feet either closer or further away to get directly through the ankle onto the ball of the foot. So use the arms to push the ground away here. T-zone tight, breathe in. Push through the balls of the feet, coming up onto the tiptoes, breathing out. Keep your hips and bum where they are as you inhale the heels back down. Exhale to rise. Inhale to return. Exhale to rise. Inhale to return. Who would think that such a small movement was such hard work? We've got 3 more. Keep that bum high. Exhale, we rise. Keep the hips where they are. Inhale, heels down. Last 2. Inhale, heels down. Last 1. Inhale, heels down. Then 1 vertebrae at a time. We peel back down to the ground. Ay caramba, wasn't that tough work? You can get rid of this now. No side lying today. We're going to go directly onto our front to work on our posture. Get quite a lot of postural work here. My hair's gone ridiculous. Quite a lot of postural work in today. So we've got our arms out in stop sign position. We're going to bring our forehead down onto the ground. We'll scoop the tailbone under and lift the belly button up. So you'll feel your pubic bone is really pushing towards the floor. Now, if it's difficult to be in this chin tuck position with your forehead on the ground, you can always roll in the edge of your mat to support your forehead. Really important for this exercise that the elbows and the hands remain connected to the ground. So this is your trapezius preparation exercise. T-zone tight, tailbone tucked, we inhale. Squeeze your shoulder blades down and back, trying to knit into the center of your spine as you exhale. Release them as you breathe in and squeeze them as you breathe out. But the elbows and the hands must stay still. If you're finding that really challenging, you might need to change the position of your forearms on the floor. They might need to slide forward a little. They might need to slide backwards a little. But keep squeezing on the exhale, releasing on the inhale. Two more of these, really getting that knit between the shoulder blades. Head is very still. Whole body is still. We're just wanting to wake up the trapezius muscles in towards the center of the back. Great. Releasing the shoulders. We're now going to include a lift of the head. However, that doesn't mean a poke of the chin. We keep the gaze down at the mat. T-zone tightens, we inhale. Squeeze the shoulders back and down as you exhale. Now lift the head and the chest. Breathe in, all the way back down as you breathe out. Squeezing into the shoulders, rising on the inhale. Controlling back to the ground, tailbone tucked, exhale. Rising on the breath in. Returning on the breath out. Rise on the inhale. Return on the exhale. Rise on the inhale. Can we add a lift of the arms, keeping them parallel to the ground? So rise on the inhale, lift the hands, keep the hand and the elbow horizontal. Exhale it all the way back down. So the hand and the elbow and the head all touch down at the same time. Really push those big toes down through the floor. Squeeze your underbutt. Inhale to rise. Exhale, slowly replace. Inhale to rise. Exhale, replace. Two more, and we're going to hold at the top. All right, now we're at the top of this. I want you to check that your tailbone is wrapped under, that we're long through the low back, that the belly button is lifting off the floor, and the chin is pulling in. We're going to inhale the fingertips towards each other. They won't quite meet. And then we're going to circle the hands out, squeeze the shoulders back on the exhale. So we inhale the fingertips towards each other. We exhale, squeeze back. So it's a circular motion, but the hand and the elbow need to stay the same distance off the ground. Exhale, circle and squeeze. Inhale as the fingertips come in. Exhale as we circle it out, squeezing the elbows back. Exhale, squeeze back. Inhale, we get lower on the breath in. We rise higher on the breath out. You keep going. I'm going to check on you. Nice. You got 3 more. Keep that belly button lifting, low back nice and long. 2 and 1. Good. Place your hands underneath your forehead to take a little rest here. Ah, good stuff. Okie dokie. Now keep that pubic bone pressing down towards the ground, chin tucked in. And you want to feel a little bit of heaviness through the elbows here. Maybe a bit of scooping away from the floor through the armpits. Keep your legs really long and straight, your toes pointed. So really squeeze the thighs and tuck the tailbone under right now. Inhale the T-zone tighten. As you exhale, your right leg lifts, but it's going to lift from your under butt first, not the upper butt. So this will obviously work, but this one happens first. Inhale it back down. Exhale, use the under butt, lift the left leg, then the upper butt. Inhale it down, exhale to switch. Inhale it down, exhale to switch. So the whole body stays still on the mat. It's just one leg at a time lifting on the exhale. Inhale it down, exhale to lift. Really long through the back of the leg. Exhale to lift. Good. Keep the head heavy. Okay, I'm going to give you a great challenge today. We're going to try and lift both legs at once without using our low back, without pushing the belly button through the ground. So you're going to keep pushing the pubic bone down, heavy through the elbows, scooping through the armpits. T-zone tight will inhale, both legs rise, we exhale. Tap the toes down on the in-breath, lift them on the out-breath. Inhale, tap, keep the legs straight and pointed. Inhale, tap, exhale, lift. Inhale, tap, exhale, lift. Keep going. Looking good, team. Nice long pointed legs. 3 more. Squeeze out through those toes. Really shoot energy out through the tips of your toes. Last one. Great. We're going to push it back into a child's pose now. Take the hands to the backs of the feet just to allow the shoulders to round and relax. We've got the chin tucked in, the forehead on the floor. If this isn't comfortable for you, pop your prop under your head. Might make, or if your feet are really a long way from your bottom, pop your prop between your butt and your heels. That feels amazing. I once had a low back injury and I couldn't get my butt towards my feet, and that butt prop between me made a world of difference. Be comfortable. Extend the arms forward. Really reach long, create lots of space. How long can you get from the tailbone to the fingertips? And then chin tucked in, rolling up. All right, guys, I'm going to give you a vote. We've got 2 things that we're going to do. You get to vote on which one you want first. So I'll just say, give me a show of hands. So we've got push-ups and we've got the final glute round. So if you want push-ups first and glutes, push-ups first, give me a hand. Or if you want glutes first, give me a hand for push-ups. Only, 3. We got 3. Push-ups is 1. Anita doesn't care. Sarah probably wanted glutes. Let's go. Let's do our push-ups. So a Pilates push-up is really slow. It's really mindful, okay? So that's the main difference between a Pilates push-up and a normal push-up. You can have your hands really wide. We're also thinking about our posture in a Pilates push-up. So it's really important that the shoulders don't come into this position. They stay set and the shoulder blades stay in their position on your back. In fact, they'll squeeze together as you lower your chest towards the floor and then extend the arms to push away. The other really big important thing in a Pilates push-up is the head is not allowed to do this. You got to keep your chin tucked in and the back of the neck nice and long. It's like doing push-ups in a plank position. So your hands are nice and wide. Your tailbone is tucked under. Now I have a bubble butt, so it doesn't really look like my tailbone is tucking under, but I promise you that it is. So you're long from the knee through the hip to the shoulders. Okay, so we're nice and long here. We're going to inhale the T-zone tight and slowly bend the elbows, controlling down where we feel that we start to lose it, and then exhale, push back up to where we started. Inhale it down to where we feel we start to lose it, and then exhale, push back to where it started. Good. Now that body has to stay long and straight. I want a longer line through your hip, Miss Rachel S. Yeah, so walk your hands back a little further if you want to, and then tuck your tailbone under. Yeah, great. Miss Cadman, that is amazing. Beautiful. Sharon, try and take your hands back a little further. I want your shoulders to wrap back. Yeah. Take them back towards your hips. Nice. And Sarah, you can take your hands wider and I want you to claw with your fingertips. Good. Really, yeah, just a little bit. Yeah. Think chest forward. Beautiful. Push away. That's much better. Much better. Looking really good. Oh, Siri thought I was talking to her. I don't know why. I wasn't talking to you, Siri. Inhale down, exhale away. Beautiful. Give me 2 more of these and then you get to have a rest. 2. And up, last one, and done. Beautiful, you guys moved with amazing control. Thank you. Take a little rest. Take it in child's pose. Resting in child's pose. Great, and then rolling up through the spine, stay where you are. We're just gonna give our wrists a little bit of love before we come into our last glute session. So turn the hands over. See how I'm folding at the hip with my hips on my heels. My fingertips are going to brush the edges of my knees. And I'm going to slowly pour weight down through the backs of my hands. Try and wrap your elbows and your upper arms under now, in towards your chest. Yeah, so you want to feel everything hug in. Good, and if you want a little bit more, just lift your bottom and then sit back down again, and you'll feel that increase the stretch as you sit back. Now we're slowly going to peel the hand off the floor from the wrist, through the back of the hand, and then through each of the knuckles. Give that a little shake. Okie dokie, let's get this done. This last one's on hands and knees, and we're going to use the prop. It's going to go at the back of the right knee. So your bottle or block, yoga block is fine, whatever you've got. It's going to go at the back of your knee. I've forgotten one important thing, my left arm. Give me a second. Here we go. So back of the right knee. Knees are directly under the hips, hands are directly under the shoulders. Careful that you're not hyperextending. We want to wrap the arms into the sides of the chest. T-zone tight, we inhale. We're just going to lift that right leg without arching the back as we exhale. Probably won't go very hard. Inhale, we hover it down off the ground. Exhale, we lift it up. Inhale, we hover. Exhale, we lift. So we've got 6 of these. We've done 3 so far. My hamstring's already pretty crampy, just holding the block. We got 1 more to the back. 1, good. Bring it down and exhale it out to the side now. Keep your whole body still. As you exhale, the leg comes up. We inhale it back down. Exhale it up. Inhale it down. 3, 4. We got 2 more. Nice long neck. Don't let your head drop. Shoulders are placed on the back. Last one. That side's done. So we got 6 lifts up. And then 6 to the back. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips, belly tight, long neck, long spine. Inhale, lifting that left heel straight up behind you, keeping both hips facing down as we exhale. Inhale, bring it back. Exhale, lift it up. So you've really got to focus today on keeping your whole torso and your low back in position. In fact, I want you to imagine there's a hot bowl of soup balancing across your low back, and you're not allowed to spill it because you'd burn yourself. It's hot. Give me one more of these. All right, let's take it out to the side. Up on the exhale, down on the inhale. 3, keeping everything still, keeping the sides of the waist the same length. Good, keeping the sides of the waist the same length. That's a hard one, right? One more. And that is done. Take the block away, the ball away. Now our last exercise you can do on your knees or you can do on your toes. It's up to you. We've got a little plank drill. We started this one last week. We're still working on it. I'm going to use my hard block. Okay. So you can start on your knees for this one. Tailbone tucked under. So you're really going to squeeze that booty to push the hips forward. The elbows are directly under the shoulders. The knees are and the toes are tucked with the knees down. So we're in this plank position on our forearms. We're going to slide one hand back under the shoulder and press up. Then the other hand comes under the shoulder, we press up. We place the elbow under the shoulder, we place the other elbow under the shoulder. Hand under the shoulder, hand under the shoulder. Elbow under the shoulder, elbow under the shoulder. Keep going. Good. Yes, guys. My 2 Rachels on your toes. Now, to make this one easier on the toes, you can bend your knees and take your feet wide. Sharon, yep, you've got this on your toes as well. It's not push-ups, it's on your forearm. It's on your forearm and then your forearm. Yes, and then on your hand and on your hand. That's it. Make sure those hands make it all the way back under the shoulders. You've got 2 more. One more. Come on, keep lifting the ribs into the back. And come all the way down onto your tummy. Excellent job. All right, rest time, stretch time. Your chest has worked exceptionally hard for you today. So we're going to get a nice chest stretch. So bring your, whichever hand you like, let's say the right arm, out into a big stop sign position. And your left hand is going to be in a tricep push-up position. Your right ear is coming to the floor. Your left knee bends, the leg comes up, and we roll onto the side of the right hip until that left toe can touch somewhere on the ground behind us. You might need to take it more towards your foot. You might need to bring it more towards your butt, but whatever feels good, then squeeze that knee up towards the ceiling and push down through the right shoulder. Well, I really mean through the right armpit. We don't want the shoulder to round forward. We want that shoulder to wrap back away from the ear. Nice. Now, if you need this stretch to be more intense, you can take your arm higher up towards the ceiling. Higher up past your head. If you want to make it less intense, you squeeze that elbow back towards your bottom. Good. If you want to make it even deeper, your left arm now can reach up towards the ceiling and you squeeze the shoulders down and back. We're here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift that left knee up, roll onto the hip. Now that left arm is going to come out into that stop sign position or the cactus position. We're going to turn the head to look at the right. And the right hand is going to come into our tricep push-up position with the elbow directly above the wrist. The right knee is going to bend, and we're going to take it across to touchdown. Good. And then find the sweet spot in your left shoulder, wherever that is. Increasing the intensity if you want, backing it off, making sure there's a lot of space between the shoulder and the ear. Then the option is to bring that right arm up. Really rotate the thumb back if you're extending. Nice, bring it down. Now, rather than rolling back onto your chest, we're going to keep turning until we're on our back. And that left leg is straight. The right leg is bent. We're going to move the right foot so it's in line with the hip. The left leg is going to come up, cross over and turn out to the side. Your butt has worked super hard today. Give it a nice stretch. So you're lying on your back. Your hands can be around the thigh. Your left elbow is trying to push your left knee wide, and just draw your hips gently to the right. So make sure you're not collapsing over towards the left through the pelvis. It's the knee moving to the left and the hips moving to the right. Now, if you can hold your shape, maybe your hands can come through and nurse your leg. Cool, and the other foot can come back to the ground. And just give it a turn from side to side. Give it a little cradle, cradle your baby. 2, 1, good work. Bring that left foot down onto the ground now. Right foot crosses over the left knee. Bring it in towards you. Hands either around the thigh or the knee, whichever feels good to you. Pushing the right knee open with the elbow and making sure your hips move just a little to the left. You can dance if you want to here. Sometimes it feels good to find all the spots in your hips. And then also if you can take a hold of this shin and cradle it, pop the other foot down on the ground and just take it for a little move through its range of motion. You're still trying to send that heel towards your left shoulder and the knee out to the side. Pushing the tailbone down. Great, now we're going to bring both knees up towards the chest and start our rock and roll. Now you're welcome to cross your legs when it's time to stand up and put your hands forward, or you can practice the no hands. So you can bring your feet apart and bring the crown of the head towards the ground. I want you to find where your ankles are directly under your hip bones. So where are my ankles under my hip bones? And once we've got that, keep the head really heavy and loose. You can nod it yes and shake it no. We're going to push back through one leg. Don't overextend it, don't hyperextend it, but just feel the hamstring lengthen on one side as you bend more deeply into the bent knee. And then bend that leg again. Switch to the other side. Feel the hamstring lengthen. And squeezing quad just gently to make that happen. And bending into that knee. We're going to keep the chin on the chest, the spine round as we slowly roll up and stack one vertebrae at a time. Stacking the hips over the heels and slowly stacking the ribs over the hips. And at the top, lifting the shoulders, squeezing them back, sliding them down. You should feel long and tall and very well worked today, guys.